A friend is someone who deliberately decreases the chances of failure. What is up, you guys? Sage here, and today I'm going to see a friend. Going to a friend's 21st birthday party. Hopefully, I can provide footage of the speech that I'm going to give because it is going to be around this topic. I think that would be fantastic. But ultimately, I think it is very important to understand this, as well as just really briefly. I don't go out. I don't party. I don't hang out. I stay out of my own way, and I stay away from pretty much everybody else. I stay in my own little spot right here. I consume things that have something to do with what I'm trying to do. Things that are gonna make me better at doing what I do. I train. I work out, and I interact with clients. I just try to provide value as far as I can. Um, Grant Cardone actually spoke about this. He spoke of it's either you are improving self, you are helping others, or you're sleeping. That's what he does. Because he said he's never done a deal after 9 o'clock. Alex Ramosi speaks about going to sleep at 9 o'clock. He wakes up very early, 5 a.m., 4 to 5 a.m., usually, and gets right to work. Patrick David has similar teachings as well. So I believe there's something to that. And I believe very much in applying that to myself as far as I can. Um, but a part of the game is networking as well, and getting yourself out there, seeing faces, stuff like that. And a part of it for me, regardless of what I may be stuck into at that time, is there the certain people. And I really do hope that I was able to capture the footage that I want to capture for you guys, in which I'm making the speech, because in there i i, I put in a little snippets of examples of the things that we've done for each other throughout the years, just in terms of, not it's not even necessarily like a financial thing, financial aid thing, trying to be there for each other in that way, but it's in any way you can. And for us, we were just high school kids, so all we could do sometimes is just say something, send a link to a video, send a motivational video, just hey, you've been slacking, stay on your horse, man. And the work that we were into then may not have amounted to what we thought it was going to amount to, but all work is profitable, right? You reap the rewards of all work. um I thought I had something about that there. Okay, but okay, I actually probably do have something over here about that. It is, mm, I have my notes open behind the laptop. That's what I mean by over there, and I already acknowledged it, so I might as well just take. Okay, there it is. There is profit in all labor. Those are the words that I wanted to get out to you. There's profit in all labor. So what we were doing then may not have amounted to what we expected it to, but it did work on us, right? The work works on you more than you work on it. And so we were working on that work. It was working on us. And then we always just kept each other accountable, kept each other working, kept each other busy. And that's something that was very, very, like, very much foundational in our friendship, and then something that really created our bond together. And it's always been around that. And even now, as my definition of a friend has changed over time, I can still look back and say, wow, that guy was a friend. And that's why I'm going out today. Despite being a person who doesn't go out, doesn't go to parties, stuff like that, I'll go to that guy's party. When that guy calls me, I'll come. Because regardless of how you define a friend, he has been a bud the whole time. And I hopefully have been a friend to him as well, and have deliberately decreased the chances, of his failure as well. And so yeah, those are two things that I want to leave you with today, that are very much a part of my life at this very moment. Which is, number one, trying to stay out of your own way, trying to stay away from the things that you should be staying away from anyway. Um, they say idle hands are the devil's playground, and just being bored, whenever the you've gotten into the worst troubles because you were bored, right? It's because you were doing something that wasn't engaging to you. So find those things that are productive. Be busy being productive instead of being busy with things that destroy. Be busy building rather than busy destroying. When you find those things to keep you in that space. And I actually thought about this. Now this is just me and you, right? This is just me being vulnerable for a second. And I thought, I don't know how I would advise someone who was in the position that I was in, because I would love to look at them and say, "Listen, just don't do this." But maybe, or not even in the position that I was in, because there are people who are like older than me who are in that position, right? So it's not even an age thing. Sometimes I think a part of the conversation would be, do you know what? You know what you should do? Just go all in. You want to be that, you want to live like that, you want to do degenerate things, and you want to live like that, just for a solid I'd say a solid 365, but you won't need 365. A couple of months, 2 months, 6 months max. If you're a slow learner, give yourself 6 solid months of living exactly the way you want to live. Give yourself 6 solid months. Now for me, it wasn't just this. At the time, I was trying to build a little bit of a company. I was working out around the clock. I was working very, very hard, right? And then at the same time, I had a 9 to 5, and I was like planning parties, and I ended up doing this massive bash in this very house. There were like 30 people like right here in this tiny space. It was insane. Don't know why I shared that, but I did. But I share that story to say, I don't know if I could tell someone, don't live that life. Rather, I would say, you know what? Live it to the full, live it to the max, and do it up. Because what happened for me, and hopefully it will happen for you too, is you realize that this is it. There is no other side. There is no other level. There is no satisfaction. You know, the wheel of hedonism just keeps spinning, and the more you get on it, the longer you're on it. There are no fruits to that. Um, and so I don't know if that would maybe be my advice. I mean, because we always hear and we always say to each other, just, yeah, do the right thing, stay away from those things. But I think in that way, we also give them a sort of power. We also give them a sort of strength, no? Where they are this taboo thing. And human beings, we like taboo things. We like to do things that we're told not to do for some or other reason. So I say, do it, bro. You want to bang girls, go bang girls. You want to party, go party. You want to drink, go drink. Drink your fill. And then when you get to that rock bottom and you realize that it hasn't taken you anywhere, perhaps it is then that you'll realize that, oh, okay, in terms of the large spectrum of things, I'm very interesting in the sense that I have this belief that we just do things, right? We're just doing things. We're all just patiently marching towards death, and we have to do something with the time. And so it is up to us in these moments to decide if we're going to do things that build us or do things that degrade us. And I'm not saying that like it's something that I haven't lived. Like I said, I've thrown the parties, I've banged the girls, I've yeah, and you name it, bro. I've done it, you know? So it is from experience that I say this. You can do that, but there's nothing on the other side of it, you know? The bottom of a bottle is always dry. Chris Stapleton, Hennessy whiskey, for anyone who didn't catch that. The bottom of a bottle is always dry. And at the end of those parties, you're there all alone, and it's you and the promises that you haven't kept to yourself. And so, if you want to do that, go do it. I don't advocate it. If you can go without it and go directly to where I'm at, to where you want to minimize as much as possible, and where you want to be focused and you want to be headed towards one big thing rather than chasing a lot of smaller gratifications, then 100%. The quicker you can get to this side, the better, right? And I hope that it's possible to not have to do what I did in order to come to this side. I hope it's possible to not swing to that side of the spectrum that hard, in order to swing back. But if you're someone like me, and it's one of those things where no matter how many times you get told, don't touch the stove, you're gonna touch it and you want to burn first, and then you're like, oh, raw. You were right, it is kind of hot. Fair. And then you go do the right thing. Then if that's you, bro, go do your thing. But right now, the things that I wanted to leave you with are stay out of the way, do your thing, chop wood, carry water daily. Those daily activities that may be less interesting in the short term, but I promise you, you will find the little fascinating things that you can pick up along the way. And those are the little tiny nuances are what separates number one from number two at the end of the day, you know? And that's the cool thing about the game is even within the simplicity, there's a more simple thing that you just need to understand. For an example, today I started people who repost my stuff, I started DMing them, hey, thank you for reposting my thing. Because then they know that, oh, this person's watching. And guess what? They followed me after that. People who weren't following me yet did follow me. And obviously the people who are already following me are probably just gonna follow even more because they know that I'm watching the engagement. They're not just a number to me, right? And that's the advantage of being a smaller channel. The advantage of being a smaller business is that you can do those things in order to compete globally. Those are the small things, but you only find those when you're chopping wood, carrying water every day. When you keep seeing a or every once in a while repost, 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 favorite, then you start reaching out to the people who favorite you, who repost you, and you're like, hey, listen, I see you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Because I do appreciate it. Because I am a smaller channel. And so that's a way where you can create that bond. And it will, yes, be favorable to the content, but it's also genuine. It's also real. Or at very least it should be. If you don't feel that way, don't do it. But yeah, man, ultimately, chop wood, carry water, always be learning, helping, or sleeping. If you have to do that stuff to get it out of your system, then just focus and dedicate yourself to doing that. Even though I wasn't focused and dedicated to doing that, I did get a very opportune moment to live life like that, to kind of just have the 9 to 5, look forward to the big party, have the big party. And for me, that just wasn't fulfilling. Hey, if that's your life or if that's the life you want to live, 100%, bro. I'm not here to pass judgment on anyone. I'm just here to say how I'm gonna live my life, you know? And share my observations so that if maybe it's valuable to you, if my insight is valuable to you, then I'm happy to give it. So yeah, that's me, man. Um, Main things always be improving self, helping others, or sleeping. Nothing good happens past 9 o'clock roundabout, so you want to be asleep around those times. And yeah, just share, give. A friend is someone who deliberately decreases the chances of failure. And so think of those people in your life and think very carefully and thoroughly about the people who don't do that and the people who don't provide that. And I'm not saying be rude to them. I'm not saying you can't have acquaintances. I'm not saying you can't have people from that past life that you still kind of, are cordial with. I'm not saying be a bad person. I'm not saying be mean, but I am saying be very intentional and deliberate with how you use your time. And I guess that's what all of this comes back to, and that's what all of this is about, is being very intentional and deliberate with how you use your time. Good evening. This is working. Is it on? Okay, cool. Now, I was told not to go for too long today, so I'll try my best. I prepared a little something. Number one, I believe that you cannot lose if you do not quit. You can only learn. And number two, I believe a friend is someone who deliberately decreases your chances of failure. Now, I don't party, I don't go out, I don't hang out. But when Jamie calls, I answer. Because there were times when I thought of slowing down, hanging it up, being less than, and JD deliberately decreased the chances of my failure. He urged me not to quit. And I hope I've done the same for him.
We used to forward one another videos that are an example of this sort of ethic, this belief that we both have. And an example of what these would contain is what makes a lion the king of the jungle? He's not the strongest, it's probably the elephant, right? He's not the fastest, because that's the cheetah. Can't be the smartest. So, what makes a lion the king of the jungle?
What makes a lion king? His mentality, bro.
Say it again.
His mentality, bro.
His mentality. Brother, we've both grown since then and evolved. But there's one thing that set us apart then and will continue to do so now and going forward. And that's our mentality. And in the spirit of that, I actually got you a little something. It's not much, but it captures a bit of what our bond has been, and it's perfectly titled after our superpower. Now, I can't say what the title is because there are kids around, but I'm sure that else will find it later to find out exactly what that is. But I pray that it deliberately decreases your chances of failure. Happy belated, brother.
Yes.
Yeah, brother.
All right. If you're still watching, I really do appreciate you. This is post event. You know, I'm here. I'm out here. It's probably it's past 12 o'clock now, so we're not gonna make that 5 a.m. club tomorrow. And broke a couple of rules. Spent a little bit of change. You know, not too much. Definitely worth it. Considering everything. Um, yeah, man. Got to reconnect with some of my boys today. I appreciated that. Um, appreciate the moments in which you can sort of see the character of the people that you keep around, just in the small things, you know, that they do for each other. For example, my boy whose birthday we were celebrating, JD, coming out to another homie of ours. You may have seen him in he's one of my clients as well. You know, he was playing his song. Of all the songs he could have played, he picked that one. You know, that's just some stand-up dude shit. Yeah, some stand-up nigga shit. Fuck, I've already, you know, that's some stand-up nigga shit, man. That among other things, you know. Hey, listen, tables turn, bridges burn, you live and learn. And a part of that means friends get busy, crack starts showing, and that's when the distance in between us starts growing. So we have kind of, you know, the friend group is a lot smaller than it used to be. You know, a lot of us don't hang out with certain other dudes, but it's cool in terms of a moment where you can kind of crystallize um who you're rocking with, you know, and we rock with those people for certain reasons. And that's why they were there tonight, you know, especially with JD being the person he is. An example, another example is I don't drink, right? I've just because like I said, I've had the conversation with myself, and it was, does doing this get me closer to my goal? The answer was no. Like, it maybe be neutral, you know, it's neither here nor there. So, why bother pouring energy into doing it when it's actually going to be detracting? It's not even going to be neutral, because it's usually going to detract from the amount of energy that I have the next day that I'm going to be recovering as well. So I've lost the day that I did the drinking, and the day after, because I lost that to recovery. So there are no benefits, only negatives. Even if I don't drink that much, sometimes even the micro degrading of the moral fiber, you know, may be my cost that I'm bearing for doing that. So anyway, decided not to drink, but it's my boy's 21st. I'm not an asshole, right? I'm not a dickhead. So everyone is cool. Come around. We hit the bar, and the boy the boy himself got everybody shots, and he didn't get me one. Now I need you to pay attention to that, because everyone else kind of doesn't drink,
in the boat that I was in myself, where it's like, I don't really drink, but hey, if it's a special occasion, I'll pop one. And I've decided like, nah, no special occasions, nothing. I'm gonna just not drink, you know? But again, I'm not an asshole. So if he had given me like a shot, then I would have taken the shot, but then I'm like, but that's it, obviously. But then obviously, that's a slippery slope, that's a slippery road, and it goes all the way down to oh, but the next oh, it's just this one, it's just this one, it's just this, and then it turns into that, right? So obviously I'm not gonna be the one to make the reach out and say, oh, give me a shot, because I know what I promised myself. And we go back to that, a friend is someone who deliberately decreases your chances of failure. That what she did there is an example of being a friend, because he knew that if he had given me a shot, I probably would have said yes, because I'm trying to be a friend. I'm trying to be cool, bro. It's your big day, and I want to help make this occasion as special as it can be, you know. And we had a conversation afterwards. I'm like, oh, I apologize that we're like your boring friends now. Oh, that we're such a boring friend group, and we can't have those hangover nights, right? Because I think he's now getting into that phase, whereas me and the boys are getting out of it, because yay, high school years, boy, we lived different lives. We were completely different animals back then. Um, but ultimately, it was really cool to me that he was being a friend, in the sense that he was helping me keep a promise that I've made to myself. And that's just some stand up dude stuff, bro. That's some stand up dude stuff. And I'm appreciative for it. Like I said, got to link up, got to see some of the guys that we work with like a homie of mine who's my client as well. Yeah, I got to see a couple of the guys that he's around, or like one of the guys, the other Sage. His name's Sage also. But I was there first. I'm Sage 1, he's Sage 2. I'm the first page, I'm the OG. Yeah, I'm OG, he's Sage. you know? So yeah, I got to meet him in person for the first time, I think. Um, yeah, got to meet a whole lot of other cool characters, man. Give some good people some dap. Um, Ultimately, from the experience as a whole, very grateful to have gotten the bit of footage that I'd gotten. Very grateful to have been a part of a moment for my friend. Very grateful to have been able to give him the little trinket, the little gift that I got him, because I knew what it meant to him. And for him, it's funny, and I didn't get to say this to him. Hopefully, he sees this, which is, after I gave him the gift, he was like, bro, I can't believe you remembered. And I wanted to say, the cool thing, bro, about us and our friendship is I don't even have to remember. I just thought of it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like we had the conversation, and he says specifically for him, the reason why he thinks I got it is because he remembered that I talked about we talked about, he told me about his difficulty sort of like getting into the reading stuff. It feels way better when you have a physical copy of something, this, that, and the third. While for me, I'm just like, listen, I'm on a reading kick, I'm on a reading journey, I'm improving myself, it's learning, helping others, or sleeping, right? That's the thing. So my learning mostly comes from my reading, and I'm really trying to expand even more on that, maybe get through a chapter a day. At this stage of the game, because I am doing the early morning thing. Yeah, bro, just trying to get through it and get that work in. So because I'm in that kick, and I'm a friend, I'm trying to deliberately decrease the chances of this man's failure. I'm trying to push him and propel him towards what he wants to be. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to aid him into his journey. I thought, oh, let me get him a piece of that, because that's been doing so much for me. I want him to experience that as well. And he had expressed interest in this book, and that book months ago. So that you can say, oh, you remembered that conversation. But for him, it's like, oh, you remembered that I said, I struggle with this, that. All I remembered is that, hey, listen, do you know who I am? I'm the guy who reads. I'm the guy who likes to gift his friends in things that are going to be valuable to them. And I thought of the running thing first, but I was like, everyone's gonna think of that. They don't know that I know. What our bond is. Like I said in the speech, it's the mindset thing, and And so boom, I get that. So my point with that is really, really cool to be a part of that moment. Really cool to be able to get in, to give. And that's my main takeaway from that night. Didn't really meet anyone new that I may be going into business with, whatever the case, but super good to just get out there, shake some hands. And another thing that's really super good is, like I said, I didn't have that drink, bumped into some other friends of mine, didn't end up hitching a ride with them and then starting the drinking thing, because that's what it begets. Because, like, again, I've lived that life, I know people. Right? So we got there, I'm giving dap to like 50 people, hey, yo, say, um and it's cool, you bump into those guys and they're busy just still living that life. So there's obviously always an opportunity to visit the old me's grave. But now, like I said, you keep it cordial, you keep it cool. We're nice to everyone, but at the same time, my friend's over here. I'm gonna go have this moment with my friend, and then I'm gonna be on my way. So that's really what we did. We just went out there, had the moment with a friend. They did a shot. We didn't do a shot, but again, like I said, gave dap afterwards, and I'm still gonna text him after this and thank him for that little moment in which he silently again showed his character and showed why I mess with him so much and why we're friends. Just silently acknowledging, like, oh yeah, this is you, not literally, this is you, this is a very new identity for you, but you are firm in wanting to do this, and you are intentional and deliberate in terms of why you want to do this. And so I will support you in doing that, by not leading you astray or tempting you astray, but rather reaffirming, and treating you such that it is already so. That's some real nigga shit right there. So yeah, I just wanted to say, super thankful for that. Super thankful for being able to reconnect with people. And the people we reconnect with, like I said, especially when it comes to reconnecting with someone like that, are going to be people that we know already, yes, but people that are just a certain type of focus, that type of stuff. Like the thing about the event, that I liked, and reconvening with those specific people, is that I would have never put something like that together, because you stay in the hole, you do your thing, and then we're gonna look up in a couple of years, and things are gonna be very different, many moons after. just as they are different now than they were many moons ago. Not that many moons, by the way, you'd be surprised. But him being able to do it, I did get to see, certain people like, oh, you're still around, you're cool, you're doing some cool stuff, bro. I'm actually loving life for you. And you remember I talked about spending that little bit of change, right? Breaking that rule, because a part of the rules is we don't go out in non-free friend events. And I did go out. It was a free friend event, but there were just moments where I reconvened with certain people that are just really, really good people, who haven't had such good people around them and have been burnt by those experiences in ways that they didn't deserve to, really. And so, I'm not here to shout people's names out and stuff like that, but I had a couple of cool moments with a couple of really cool people, and what I'm saying, just bought a drink to share with a friend. Obviously non-alcoholic, bought an energy drink, to be honest. Energy drink to have with a friend. To be really direct, poured a bit of petrol in the car of the friend that got me home. You get me? And this is someone who I've messed with for a really, really long time. And friends get busy, cracks start showing. And that's when the distance in between us start growing. And even besides the busyness and stuff like that, it is within those micro frictions that you get to see the character of people, like who they really are. And yeah, just a lot of messed up stuff had happened around, my friend. And this guy's a really, really big friend of mine, bro. And like we played rugby together, and like I said, he's doing some cool stuff. You know, some cool stuff recently has been popping off, you know, in his life, and he's on the journey as well, focused, locked in, all that stuff. And so if I can continue to promote that in him, because him doing that inspires me to lock even more into my grind, because I'm not gonna have the little pop here and there, and then the show of this and that, because I'm really kind of focused on stacking the bread, reinvesting it, throwing as much of it as I can into myself, as much of it I can into my business. So materially, it's not really gonna show, you know, very quickly for me, like it may for him and in his hustle, and that's okay, because that's his journey. His journey is that, and that's what he's doing right now. And then at some point, that's gonna be what I'm doing as well. But for me, it's very important that I pour as much as I can into him as a human being, to say, hey, there are still good people around. Stay this good person. Stay this motivated person. Stay this friend loving individual. Stay this person who, you know. But it's just let's redefine a friend. And you know, and then he did say after this, yo, bro, that right there, the way to describe that, highlight moment, taking that. And that's really cool for me. And it's that, bro. And those are the moments in which you can kind of, it's not really step back, but it's, oh, okay, now that we fathom the situation, then we can exercise precaution, you know. Like, I'm not gonna regret it at any point, but yo, I spent a little, bro, less than $100, you know what I'm saying, that I, so, but in doing so, in the conversations we were able to have in the car on the way here, that's more important. I could have gotten an Uber home. I could have, it's the conversation we have in the car on the way home. It's the music we play, you know, changing the music, increasing the cadence, increasing the hunger levels, desperation levels, and talking about getting more focused, you know, defining focus, you know. So as much as we can, man, just continuing to sort of spread that, but at the same time receive as well in the feel of what they're doing with their lives. Really dope experience with the friends. So yeah, I guess this is, I just wanted to come in and report a after the night sort of thing. Yeah, I think that's about it. Just really grateful to have had the people. I'm really grateful to get out of the house, dress up a little bit. You know, sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. So yeah, it's really cool, especially to come in, reconnect with certain people, and just to be cool in that way, and to begin to have, or to continue to have those conversations, and to see the progress, you know what I'm saying, within people's lives, especially those kinds of people, and just to meet with your kind of people, because those are the people that you're gonna want to have around for a long time, and those are the people that you're gonna want to keep on the journey, so that you're not lonely at the top. You know, because yeah, there is the sentiment that it's lonely at the top, but that's because I'm sure there are people that you left at the bottom because they were afraid to climb it, and that's okay. But when you have some killers with you, when you have some climbers with you, then realize that there is no such thing as a self-made, right? At the end of the day, it takes people, right? And we need people. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. That's what the big vision of Sage Consultation is, and turning that into a sort of, whatever we called it at the time, doesn't even need to have anything to do with my name or anything to do with me. But in terms of getting the big holding company, having equity in companies all across Africa, that it's about people. It's not about the holding company. It's not about it's about, when we do that and we have the skill set of being able to grow businesses, and we can grow businesses across the whole Africa, it's about the impact that we're going to be able to have on people's lives, like continentally. And for me, it's a really big fight that needs to happen. But like I said, our problems are not going to be solved politically. They have to be solved economically. And if I can even begin to take steps towards that, I would have lived a good life. You know? Point is, even when we're talking about the lock-in, the focus, this and that, it's about people at the end of the day. So don't forget people. Remember yourself and remember to be your best self first, because you can't fill other people's cups when your cup is empty. You have to overflow into other people's cups. And in that way, we kind of get closer to God. I don't know why it's going religious. It's late, I think. It's late. I am sober. Like I said, I don't drink. But, late hours, sometimes it do be getting religious. I don't know, for some other reason. You get closer to God in terms of you give. That's when you really give with an open heart. And when you really give, freely, and you give with the most love, is when you're giving from abundance. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know when we started pushing back against abundance or having a lot and giving from that instead of giving away from lack, because you're giving away painfully. And not to say that I have a lot of material possession. I have nothing, right? I really genuinely have nothing. But it is from the abundance of heart. But I have nothing, but I don't want for anything that is not aiding in the journey. And oftentimes we will hang on to money. And I know it's going to be very funny hearing this from me, because I'm Mr. Business, Mr. Money, Mr. Go, right? Mr. Nice Watch, Mr. But sometimes we will hang on to the little bit of money that we have when we have nothing, instead of trying to hang on to people when it's about people at the end of the day. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, example, it may have been my last 100 Rand, but it's not my last 100 Rand. But how many people like this am I going to find in my lifetime? How many people have I known this long? I grew up everywhere. I bounced around a lot. So I've made and lost a bunch of friends. Hence the charisma, but also hence the relative disconnection to society. Hence I don't really, hence I was never really truly in the matrix, because I never really got to be integrated in other people's patterns. The patterns were always disrupted. And I was always comparing patterns. Well, in this place they do this, and here they do this. Oh, there they call it this. But you realize that everyone there believes this, and everyone here believes that. And I do believe that's where the curious mind stems from. But ultimately, throughout all that, there are these certain people. And yes, it is initially circumstantial. I was actually thinking about this the other day. Not the other day, like right there at the party. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, it's all circumstantial, and it's all based on convenience that I'm friends with these people. Because we went to the same high school. And then I thought to myself, well, that's all. The initial stages of friendship, the initial stages of meeting people is just because you just so happen to be in the same space as them. That's just how things work. So then I thought, and it's always worked like that across time. And I thought, okay, so that doesn't truly determine friend. Like, that's not the only factor. So it's not what determines friendship. Although we have defined what friends are, it's what determines who you're friends with, right? Or where you get those friends. And then I thought, well, I probably just did geographical location. Then I thought, well, to be fair, there are a lot of people that were around that space that I'm not friends with right now. There are a lot of people that I used to be friends with that I'm not. So what is it? And I do believe that as you start to go through it, it's not just the geographical location and the convenience. It's after that, who am I aligned with? Who am I walking the journey that I want to walk with? Who's also walking on this journey? And I believe that those become your people. We do sort of live in this global village, and it's for example, an example of where to find friends, or how to find friends is not, hey, I'm Sage, I did this, and it's not be interested in me. It's number one, you be interested, and number two, find common interest. And when you are very intentional, deliberate, focused, you minimalize, and those interests are in common, then I believe you can be friends with people for a long time. Anyway, am I gonna edit that out of the previous one? Probably, because then people are gonna click off the video, or it's just not gonna make sense. So before I had actually done this before, but for real this time, I cut that out. But I just want to let you know. So I'm just being completely transparent. If you see a cut back there, it's because there was a goodbye. Now I'm not, this is goodbye. Okay? I didn't know I was going to do this. So here we are. There's a video that's going to pop up here. And on this video, something really, really cool was said by me, and I would love you to check it out. And if you want to do a man a favor, if you would love to do a brother a favor, then please do show your support by hitting that subscribe button. You see that button right there? It would mean like a lot to me. I really, really appreciate these sessions. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I have been Sage. Signing out.